Hey, hello investors, welcome to the channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick recap to see the amount of investment gains that we accumulated for the month of January. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to show you that you too could use these option strategies and these stocks in order for you to grow a small account portfolio. This is not difficult. So, if you're completely brand new to option and you're looking to get into options, or you heard about options from a friend, and you want to do it in order to supplement your regular 9 to 5, then you so happen to stumble onto the right video. Welcome to Investment Gains. Let's jump right into it. Welcome back, investors and future investors. My name is Tim, and on this channel, I show you how I use my portfolio in order to make consistent income. For today's video, we're going to be going over my options dashboard. I'm going to show you the result of trading for the month of January. Now, like I said, based on what I'm going to be showing you today, it doesn't matter what size portfolio you have, these option strategies and these stocks will also work for you. But before getting into any option trading, there's always two things you need to remember. Number one, always do your own due diligence before investing. But most importantly, it's going to be number two, which is always make sure you have an exit strategy before getting into any options. Now, there's only one way you could learn options, and that is to practice, practice, practice. So let's go ahead and get down and dirty and see what we did during the month of January. So we're going to go ahead and open up the option tracker. Okay, so here we are, and this is a rather simple option tracker. I'm going to start off by the gains or losses that we accumulated during December. As you can see, December right here. So the total gain for December was $968. And as you can see here, I literally used only two stocks, which was Mara and Micron. Now, lesson number one, you do not need to have a portfolio with 20 or above stocks in order for you to make some decent gains. As you can see here, I literally used two stocks and I was able to accumulate almost $1,000 in the month of December. Okay, lesson number two. As you can see here on Mara, this is what's known as a CSP or cash secured put. So I literally needed to have only $2,300 in my portfolio. Now, I did do two contracts, which comes up to $4,600. But if you are trading for small portfolio, you should be able to afford $2,300. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to get into our gains or losses for January. Okay, so here we are on January, and we're going to start from the last week and we're going to work our way upwards. Now, on this channel and with my trading group, we absolutely do not trade every single day. We usually put on our trades for once a week or once every 2 weeks, and we go ahead and do what we need to do in our personal lives. In my personal opinion, it does not make any sense for you to get away from your 9 to 5 job in order for you to come to become a full-time trader. But once again, that's a personal preference. We choose to trade once or twice a week in order to buy back our time to spend the extra time doing the things that we want to do. Okay, so I did make a video earlier on January 2nd, and I showed you guys the stocks that I'm going to be trading for 2025. And that does not change throughout the year unless something drastic happens. So as you can see here, these are the stocks that I'm trading for 2025. Now, this is the last week in January, as you can see here. So some of them have not expired yet. For those of you that are brand new to the channel, I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough. This is the day that we actually get into the option contract. This date represents the expiration date. Right here, I should put the day I close it, but I'm still getting the hang of doing this consistently. These are the amount of days to expiration. These here are going to be the stocks that we actually trade in. These here is going to be the actual option strategies we're going to be using. So CC stands for covered call and PMCC stands for poor man's covered call. Now, I do have videos on each and every single one of the strategies that we use on this channel in order to generate consistent income. So feel free to check out any of those. This next column here, we have the strike price. The next one is going to be the amount of contracts we're going to get into. This column here is one of my favorite columns because this shows you the juicy premium that you're going to be receiving. This column here is not one of my best friends because whenever you decide to exit an option strategy, a selling option strategy, you're going to have to pay some kind of money. So this is what we paid in order to get out of the option. This column here is going to be our average cost. Now I'm going to mention average cost a bit later on in this video. And this right here is actually our P&L. Our P&L is going to tell us the amount of money we received to get into the trade, which is $30 multiplied by 2 contract, which is $60. And then we went ahead and closed it early for $5. Actually, this should be $10 because there was 2 contracts. And the amount of gains we receive is going to be $50. Now, the last column here is going to be your percentage return. Now, this you should pay attention to, not the actual money here. Your percentage return is going to let you know whether you're in the stock at a very risky rate or whether you've been very mellow and not taking too much risk. So my average rate of return for me, based on my own personal risk tolerance, I always like to get between a 3 or 5% return on a regular basis. Now, based on all the strategies that we did for this last week in January, the amount of money I received was $664, and that just represents one current trading period. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to go up, and we're going to check out the week right before this one. Okay, so here we are on the previous week, and as you can see here, the stock hasn't changed that much. The only difference here is the SPY that we added. The reason why I added the SPY was because I wanted to make a video on how to do the call credit spread. That's what the CCS stands for. Now, the call credit spread, I will tell you, is one of my weakest option strategies, but I still perform it every now and again based on market sentiments. Now, by performing the call credit spread, I did have some losses right here. Now, a word to note, there is no one in the options world that has not lost money. If there's anyone that has been trading consistently and has not lost money, I will tell you right now, they're absolutely lying to you. It is not possible. You will lose some money sooner or later. The trick is to manage your risk and make sure when you lose money, you don't end up blowing up your entire account. So once again, the absolute same stock that I use, Mara, AMD, NU. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to use, let's use QBT right here. So QBT, I did a covered call on, and my average cost was $36. So here's the thing to note, right? Every single time you receive option premium, what you do with that is that you subtract it from your overall cost. That goes ahead and further reduces your overall cost of the stock. That comes in handy later on if the market does have a pullback. So let's say I decide to sell this now for a long time and I've developed $350 in option premium. I'm going to subtract this from my $3,600 and that's going to give me a new average cost of around let's say $3,300 to round it up. Now, whenever I'm going to sell covered calls, I'm now able to sell covered calls at a $33 and above per share price. Now, the reason I brought that up is to show you guys this. The current price that I'm selling covered calls right now is below my average cost. This is a definite no-no. You only do this if you know what you're doing or if you want to take some additional chances. So let's go over it. Let's go over the gains and the losses so far. So as you can see here for the call credit spreads, I lost about $170 each. And then here we were to get small gains. Now, another thing I want to show you, look at the gains. The gains are $48, $64, $29, which is not much. However, if you were to go to add it up, that's when it really matters. As you can see to the bottom here, it says $380. So when you're trying to grow a small portfolio, do not try to make absolute high gains. That's how most people end up blowing up their portfolio. Take the small returns and it's going to compound as you go through. I guarantee you. I have been doing this for years and it's been working for me. And I'm pretty sure it could work for you as well. So overall, for that week of January, there was a loss of 124. So now we had 660 gains and the next week we had 124 loss. So let's go ahead and go to the week before this. Now, the week before this seems to be the first week of January trading. Now, once again, here is the commonality. It's the exact same stocks I'm trading. You do not need a portfolio with 20 or more stocks. Feel free to choose any amount of stocks that works for you. That's going to help you better be able to manage your trades. Okay, we're not going to go over the strategies. We're not going to go over the stocks because those are not going to change. What we are going to go over is the P&L. So as you can see here, the P&L was really, really good for the first week in January. And I guess that's because stocks was trending coming to the close of December. So the overall gain for this week was $1,017. Now, with my portfolio, I usually make between $500 and $1,000 almost every single week. And that's what has allowed me to grow my portfolio consistently. Now, another thing I want to bring to your attention is right here, my gains. As you can see, at the start of January, the returns were extremely high, 6%, 5%, 6%. As the market changes, these returns are not going to be high as this, or they could be high as this. Always take what the market gives you. Now, right here, all the way to the bottom, I made some notes for myself. Maybe you could use these notes. Now, if this spreadsheet is helping anyone out, I do have it attached in a link below for a very small price. If you guys want to go ahead and support the channel, well, this is a very good way for you to go ahead and do that. So right here, what I use in notes is to tell myself what strategies I'm using or how I got into the stock. So for the first one here where it says outright, that means I bought RGTI. Right here, I paid cash and I just bought it outright in order for me to do a covered call option strategy. When it comes to the next one, which is MU, the strategy I decided to use was a PMCC or poor man's covered call. And how I got to do that is that I actually went out and bought a LEAPS option. LEAP stands for Long-Term Equity Anticipation Securities. Once again, I do have videos on every single one of these strategies, so feel free to go ahead and check it out. So for the next one, which is MARA, what I've decided to do is the wheel option strategy. Now, the wheel option strategy means that you don't mind being assigned. The whole purpose of you doing the wheel option strategy is to generate consistent income. And as we go down, we can see the other stuff. I bought this one outright and I sold it. Now, overall, we did only 3 trades for the month of January. 1017, we lost in the next period of 124, and then the third period, we got 664. Now, once you guys see this here, it's only one trading day or one trading session. So as you can see here, January 24th, 13th, whatever the case might be. So this allows me to not stay in front of the computer consistently. Now, our overall gain, let me go back to the top. I did make a huge loss, and I did make a video about that. The reason why I had a loss in the first week was because I did what's known as a limit order. Now, a limit order, anyone should always have this in their portfolio. My limit order was on the stock RGTI. I placed a limit order giving directive to the option strategy that if this stock were to fall more than 50%, then go ahead and buy back my shares in order to exit the option strategy. Now, because this stock fell drastically, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys can remember this, I was stomped out of this stock and then I lost this amount of money. Now, when trading options, the only time you lose is when you sell or you get out of the options. So I lost $1,166 here. So overall, for the month of January, let's go ahead and do a quick calculation. Let's see how we did. And that should be all the way to the bottom here. Okay, here we go. So overall for January, I made $1,557. Now, with all these gains, I subtracted the losses I had, and that comes up to $391. The losses I had was when I was stomped out of Rigetti Computing. Now, the reason why I'm going to be making these videos at the end of every month in order for me to show you my investment gains is to show you that it does not matter what size portfolio you're trading with. Once you decided on what strategies that you want to implement in your portfolio and you decide what stocks you want to use in your portfolio, and you also go ahead and decide the strategies you want to do in your portfolio, then you're going to become more consistent as a trader. Once you have those factors in place, everyone needs some kind of option tracker in order for them to know how they're doing, good or bad. Then and only then are you able to know whether you're getting better with trading or you need to go back to the drawing boards. Now, if you guys have any questions about the strategies I use, about the stocks I use, about how I choose my strike prices, how I decide to get into any option trade, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you guys found any value in this video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, go ahead and share this video with anyone trading for small account. Let's show them that even with a small account, you are able to make consistent income. Now, let them also know that you will make losses along the way. The market does not go up all the time. The market goes up, the market goes down. That's just what it do. However, that does not mean we cannot be consistent as traders. Until the next video, keep pushing your investments.